local stuff, you work your way out, and then you can finally deduce if it's that thing over there, that server over there that's not working, or if it's something along the way like your name server, your gateway, or your local interface. The last thing I want to cover in this video and the troubleshooting section overall is just, where can you go to get more help? Obviously, I can't cover everything in a few videos that could possibly go wrong on your system. You could own like 10 Linux books. They're not going to cover everything that can go wrong on your Linux system, and you're going to have to eventually seek out some help from some outside source. Definitely ask your friends. If you have friends that do Linux, ask them, and that's part of the community. People are willing to help, and one day you'll know something that they'll need help on, and it'll all come back. Okay, I bookmarked a web page here that's pretty helpful too, linuxquestions.org. Okay, where newbies come for help, it says up top there. All right, and there's the Linux Penguin. That'll make you feel at home. And it's just got all sorts of stuff in here. They've got forums so you can ask questions. But what's nice here too is you can just browse the board and you can perform a search and view the index. Okay, so they've cataloged everything, all the questions that are going on, so you can look back, and you might not even have to ask the question. You just look back through what other people have asked, and maybe you're going to find the answer to your question. Let me give you a couple tips here to get the most out of these sort of forums. First, nobody's getting paid here, right? It's a community. And in this community sort of environment, you're going to have to show that you've put some work in before people are going to really feel like they owe you something, like that they'll actually help you out. Okay, so definitely put some work in. Try it, don't write in and say, I've got a networking problem, help me. Write in and say, okay, I've pinged this, I've pinged that, and here's the output to the route command. I don't understand this, and ask something specific, and somebody, will write back and tell you what's going on. All right, and the other thing is, definitely do some work like perform a search. Go back through the index. See if your question gets asked like every other week, and people get tired of answering that kind of stuff. So just go back and see if it's a common problem that other people have had, and you can just use the index and the search mechanism to find out about that problem, look at the answers, and maybe you don't even ever have to really post something on there. Okay, and there's lots of forums out here besides linuxquestions.org. Do a search in Google for Linux forums or something, and you'll find all sorts of stuff out there. Okay, so that's the main thing I'm trying to get across. You put in some effort. It's a community thing. You put in some effort. Somebody's going to be there to help you out, and vice versa. You should stick around on these question boards too. When somebody new asks a question and you know the answer, go ahead and chime in and tell them, and feel good about it because you're contributing back to the community then. Well, it's time to wrap up our last troubleshooting video. First topic in this one was backup and restore problems. We talked about the different types of problems you could encounter, why they would happen. And the moral of the story with backup media was, be kind to your backup tapes and they'll be kind to you, something like that. Don't stick them on your dashboard on some hot summer day. Application failures on servers we talked about next, like from the user standpoint and also from the system administrator standpoint. And we talked quite a bit about diagnosing networking problems. The network's such a central part of the computer these days. If networking's not working, we feel like our computer's not working. So I wanted to go through that in quite a bit of detail to show you what happens at every step of the way. What if something's broken? What does it look like? That kind of stuff. And finally, I just tried to point you to some outside help. There's tons of resources out there, and really, I'm trying to encourage you to use the outside help. Don't be shy. Ask intelligent questions. Give people information about your system if something's broken, and people will be there to help out. And in turn, once you start to know more stuff, stick around on those forums and help other people out, and that's part of the Linux community. Well, I hope you found this nugget informative, and thanks again for viewing.